Okay, so here's what I found out, and these are like five. Obviously, they entail some subcomponents, which we will talk about. But the first one I think is problem solving, which is obvious, right? We need to be great problem solvers because we are solving a super important problem for the organization. Some problems are absolutely top of the mind for the leadership of the client, and that's why they have onboarded a management consultant to solve them, right? Dedicatedly. The second one is prioritization. I think people hinted on it when they said we need to figure out what aspects to focus on and what ones to leave out, because there's a huge time constraint at our end. We can't just boil the ocean like I was talking about initially. Hence, in the problem solving framework also we put in prioritizing the issues as one of the key steps to think about. And this is a skill that you acquire a little bit with time, right? And your ability to hypothesize better. So as you hypothesize better in terms of which aspects are likely to go wrong, and where is the problem going to be absolutely critical, or where the bottlenecks are going to arise, you solve for those problems accordingly, right? And I think someone had talked about operation strategy. I know I keep coming back to it. It was a good question. I think prioritization works as one of the more critical themes underlying an operations strategy project. Then there's people skills, which I was talking about, which is the soft skills that you would hear about for a consultant. Your ability to read people, read their motivations, and also, guide them or push them to work in a certain direction. So consultants typically are working on path breaking or massive change projects for the client. So change management is almost a running theme for every project that we are working on. And therefore, your ability to work with people and take them through the journey of that transformation is absolutely important. Then knowledge building, like I was saying, for yourself, which means you need to learn about or pick up the understanding of the industry that you being a part of as you work on a certain project every 3 months or every 4 months. You need to ramp up on that industry very, very quickly. And then also you need to pass on for the future teams the learnings that you would have gathered on that particular project, which builds into the knowledge base for the firm as a whole. So both these aspects, one is internal and one is to do with the firm, you have to be good at, right? You need to be able to grasp knowledge as also pass it on equally well. Communication and presentation. I think whatever you do, whatever quality of work you have, ultimately it needs to go out to the clients in the very same way. The quality should come out in the conversations. Your presentation should be such as is something that people from across the entire organization be able to follow, from the middle to senior level management to the absolute CEO, right? The presentation should speak to all of them. And your ability to communicate basic over emails as also in conversations on the sides, right? You have to be good and on your toes at all times, and as precise and brief as possible, right? Entrepreneurial skills, I think that helps because you yourself then are super agile in the way you're approaching problems and have a very, very iterative approach to problem solving, which means you will try and figure out if this worked or not, then move on to the next one without saying that I'm stuck with my failures in the past, right? So that's where a little bit of the entrepreneurial skills also comes in. And it has also got to do with being proactive in solutioning, right? So even before the client points out a major problem to you, if you can identify it for them and even solve it for them before they come to know, then that's a skill that a client would appreciate a lot. So these are some of the skills that I figured would be important. I typically, mention three kinds of P's: problem solving, presentation, and prioritization as the three things that I always felt were the most important, even within these. So prioritization, presentation, problem solving. Any questions here in terms of what you think? And these are the kinds of skills, by the way, that you would also have to project in your case interviews or at your job, right? So communication and presentation is one of the core skills that are being tested in the interview process, right? Then the problem solving obviously is the case itself, right? So that also needs to be absolutely there. It's almost a hygiene. Prioritization again is tested through the case interview in your ability to hypothesize and figuring out where you should focus your energies in the 20-25 minute discussion. And some of the people skills is your ability to gel well with the work culture and the kind of people that they would typically see at the firm itself.